Hello, it's Ruby Burrito and welcome. Today I want to dive directly into the PvP Legendary Armor. This by itself is an interesting topic because there's three different types of PvP Legendary Armor. There's the Glorious Heroes Armor, there's the Mist-Forged Glorious Heroes Armor, and there's the Ardent Glorious Armor. We're going to start with the Glorious Heroes Armor, which I think is probably the most difficult to get because it requires you to do monthly automated tournaments. When you do the monthly automated tournaments and you place 1st through 4th, you can get PvP tournament vouchers. For 10 of them, you can get a Glorious Victor's Armor box, which allows you to pick an Ascended piece of gear. This can then be upgraded to the Legendary version through the Mystic Forge. You need the Ascended piece and 3 other items, the first of which is a Gift of Competitive Prosperity, which is a Mist Core Fragment, something that you can get from the Glorious Armor box, which is a PvP reward track, 15 Mystic Clovers, a Gift of Condensed Might, and a Gift of Condensed Magic. The second item is a Gift of Competitive Prowess. This is put together with the Record of League Victories, which is purchased from PvP League tickets. That is a PvP-specific currency. An Eldritch Scroll, which is purchased from Spirit Shards. Obsidian Shards, and a Cube of Stabilized Dark Energy, which is something that you're going to see quite often in these videos. The final one is going to be the Gift of Competitive Dedication. A Record of League participation is required. It's 20 more PvP League tickets. A Star of Glory. This is purchased with Ascended Shards of Glory, an item that you get through playing PvP. A Glob of Condensed Spirit Energy is Spirit Shards once again, and a Jar of Distilled Glory is regular Shards of Glory, another currency / material that you will get from playing PvP. So that's the first one. The second one is the more basic of the two remaining, and that is the Ardent Glorious Armor. This, you can get the exotic version from the PvP reward track that I mentioned earlier. If you are trying to get the Mist-Forged Glorious Armor, I would suggest going with the exotic version to start. But if you want specifically the Ardent Glorious Armor, you can purchase the Ascended version from the Ascended Armor League vendor. And from there, you can craft it into the Legendary gear. Again, you're going to need the Gift of Competitive Prosperity, the Gift of Competitive Prowess, and a Gift of Competitive Dedication. The final item here is going to be the Mist-Forged Glorious Heroes Armor. This is the biggest version of the PvP Legendary Armor. In order to unlock this, the first thing you need to do is hit PvP rank 100. Now, I'm going to take a sidestep. The level 100 PvP rank is actually what I've been chasing for quite some time now on my path to getting this armor. I'm currently, I believe, level 69 still, which puts me in the final rank of Shark, almost into Phoenix. Once I get to Phoenix, it's 10 more levels to Dragon, and then 20 more levels to get to level 100. The reason that this is the hardest is because the way that you get rank points from unranked and ranked arena, it's a little different for custom, but primarily what most people will play is unranked and ranked. If you win, you get 1500 XP. If you lose, you get 500. For me right now, and once you get to level 39, it's 20,000 XP per level. It takes some time, especially if you're not the greatest. I mean, I lose quite a few of my matches, which makes it very time-consuming for me to get to level 100, and so that's why I'm working on it right now. If you want some more information on how to get that, there's no boosters you can use. You get an additional amount of rank points for getting the top stats, and also when you ready up, pretty much, I believe you get an additional 25, so I think you get an extra 25 every time. But it's not the easiest thing to do. So going back to the Mist-Forged Glorious, let's take a look at what it costs to purchase from the Ascended Armor League vendor. So you can either buy the Ardent Glorious gear for 2 gold and a varying amount of Ascended Shards of Glory, a varying amount of Grandmaster marks, depending on which one you're purchasing, light, medium, or heavy, it's going to be tailor, leatherworker, or armorsmith. And then it's going to be a static 250 shards of glory. When you go to the Mist Forged version, it's going to be, again, a varying amount of Ascended Shards of Glory, again, a varying amount of marks, Grandmaster marks, the static 250 Shards of Glory, but this time, instead of gold, it's going to be a varying amount of globs of ectoplasm. I'm going to have a link to that vendor, and I'm going to have a link to the legendary armor in the description below. The last thing to touch on here is going to be how these armors look. So in the beginning, I put up the Glorious Heroes armor. You can't easily find that within the wardrobe storage, so I just pulled those images off of the wiki. But here I can go light, and if we look up Glorious, you can see that there's all three types. So this is the exotic set, the Glorious here. Ardent Glorious, this is going to be the Ascended, or Legendary if you go with the first tier, the Ardent. And then the third one here is going to be the Mist Forged Glorious Heroes. So first things first, we can take a look at the Ardent Glorious for the light. It looks very similar to the Glorious Heroes. They just have a couple different touches here with the dyeing and the color palette and everything. But when we switch to the Mist Forged, I'm going to start with the Slumbering. There's something special here, kind of shared with World v World, but when you go to wield, you can see that I get the aura from the legendary staff, but since I have Slumbering, you can see that there's some effects on the shoulders and things there. But when you switch to the Mist Forged Glorious Regular and you go to Wielded, you can see these tendrils coming from the back. And that's going to be shared across the different weights of armor. So if I go to heavy now, or medium, sorry, this is the one that I'm working on. You can see I have all of the exotic. I have the Ardent Glorious, which I could theoretically make the PvP armor right now with this, but like I said, I want to get the Mist Forged version. So again, we'll go with the Slumbering. And you go to Wielded, and you guys can do this at any time. Just go to the bank, go to the third tab, Wardrobe Storage. If I switch to the regular and go to Wielded, then I get the same tendrils. And then finally, the heavy set, if we go to Glorious. I'm always partial to the heavy set here. I really like the heavy armor in the game. So this is going to be the Ardent Glorious, and then the Mist Forge. I'm going to skip the Slumbering because we know that it's just going to be missing the tendrils. So this is, you can see the movement here in the shoulder pieces, in the greaves, and then when you go to Wielded, you get the tendrils there. That's going to wrap up everything for getting the PvP Legendary Armor. The precursors I showed are going to be the different armor sets, either getting it from the monthly automated tournaments and purchasing the chests from the vendor, or purchasing the regular items for the other currencies from a different vendor. The gifts that I showed for the Glorious Hero are going to be the same across all three. So that's really going to wrap up everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I'll have more videos out for the other sets of Legendary Armor, so don't forget to subscribe so you can see them when they come out. Thank you guys, and we'll see ya in the next one.